What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make the new Poppy Playtime exterior Playtime Co-Factory. This is part 6, and in this one, we're going to be doing the rest of these smokestacks, along with getting this little dome area done. Now, if you don't have my dome or I'm not using my chapter or whatever, just don't even worry about this section. We kind of did end up start marking walls because of this area, but just like don't even build it at all because there's no point to it. If you do have a dome, you can kind of work around it still the same way that I did here, but it doesn't matter. If you don't actually end up having Chapter 1 inside, then that really doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, that's really the only thing important that I forgot to mention in the video itself. So with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. It's time to go to smokestack run. So for this, you want to start by getting out the following: blue concrete, red terracotta, cyan concrete, smooth sandstone, white terracotta, light blue concrete, magenta concrete, stone, and we might benefit from cyan terracotta. I think that's not a bad idea. So we're going to start with the ones on the right, and then we'll have to set ourselves up with the stone and cyan terracotta for the ones on the left. And again, the ones on the back right, we're just ignoring entirely. So you want to start by heading to this first barn here, the one closest to the smokestack we've already made. If you take the center of that, and if you're looking towards it, like towards the front, you want to take the right mangrove plank and trace it down to the ground. You'll be able to block off the wall, and you'll place a blue concrete here, and again from this angle extended right by 2. So it'll basically be centered, just shifted towards that one. You'll then go toward you diagonally, right one, toward you, which is going to be forward diagonally right, but technically back, but again, we're calling it forward. Forward 1, forward diagonally right, forward 2, forward diagonally left, forward diagonally left, forward diagonally left, left 2, back diagonally left, back diagonally left, back diagonally left, back 2, back diagonally right, back diagonally right, and it should give you this shape. We're just going to bring them up as we build them. This one you are bringing up by 46. And I will let you count that. This is the second tallest of all of them. You'll see it's like kind of in line with this 4th yellow stripe. It doesn't have to be perfectly exact to 46. Just make sure you're around this area on that one. That is another way you can reference them, is just like, if you really don't want to count 46 blocks 1,000 times. I mean, they're not all 46. Most of them are like 30s. But you can just kind of estimate based on the stuff around you. Obviously, I wouldn't estimate based on that, because, well, that's, like, way down there, but anything of similar height. They don't have to be exact. Although some of them, I battled the left one so much, because I kept having issues with where they were situated based on the castle, like the brown towers, because they kept blocking them in the, like, wrong way, and eventually I just gave up. Because, like, you can see them from angles, but if you look directly, basically where you would think it is from the, I guess, title screen, you can't see them for some reason. So, it was like, there might be 1 or 2 of them you can't see, but it's just like, because I couldn't really make them taller, or else it just started looking weird overall, so I just had to kind of live with it. It looks fine in, like, the thumbnail and in most images, but you can get a certain angle to where, like, you get the whole factory in, but those smokestacks just aren't visible. It is very annoying. Anyway, hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am, for the most part. That's like the one part I wasn't looking forward to. Although once we get it out of the way, at least, like everything from here is going to be kind of smooth sailing because we don't have to necessarily build the roof back all that much to do more smokestacks. I mean, the only other one we need to do, we're going to probably do last, other than texturing and parking lot. But still, I think parking lot will be like very last. Basically, it's going to be, you know, main factory, whatever. And then it'll be texturing, I'll go over. And then I think I want to do parking lot in a separate part, which will probably just be one full part of that. And then I'll go over texturing of the parking lot in that particular part, which I might not even have to necessarily, because I believe the texturing for the parking lot is the same as... Like, basically it uses blocks that are used in other parts of the build. You can just texture the same. Although I think I used white concrete instead. There's a couple things I know that do end up changing, because I remember there was something I did with the white concrete lines to make them, like, fade almost. And yeah, same thing with the road. I'll probably end up making, at least show you how I went about doing that. I won't necessarily do the whole thing because, well, I don't have anything to connect it into like I did originally. Anyway, you should have this, and you kind of see how that looks. You can also, this is a good point to decide if you actually want to use the rest of my exterior, and it's a good reason why we do the smokestacks now. Because, like, from the front it looks fine, don't get me wrong. Like, I love how this looks, but if you get certain angles and you see it and you're like, that just doesn't look right, then, you know, you can obviously push them back. Just, if you push them back, you have to make them taller. Pretty much, there's no way to not do it that way. Anyway, you want to take the middle barn section now, and we're going to head to the back of it, and... this time we're going to actually look back as we do this, but you want to be just on the stone behind the centered, like, mangrove plank here on the window. You want to be on this particular stone. You want to count back by 7, and then right by 5. And going right place 3 red terracotta. Go back diagonally, right 2. Back 2. Back diagonally, left 2. Left 2, forward diagonally, left 2, forward 2, and then forward diagonally, right by 1. Going right at this, you want to leave a gap of 8 and copy the shape out of cyan concrete. So if I take this row here on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the 9th block, I'll place that same row of 3, and I'll go diagonally away from it and whatever. And I'll leave a gap of 8 from that one going right and make one out of smooth sandstone. So you're counting out to the 9th block again. And you should have this. You should have 3 circles. Not the greatest circles, but they're circles. You'll extend each block of each of these 3 up by 33. And so you'll see you're a significant bit shorter than the blue one there. Whoopsies. Love to use Y coordinates, but I can't. Also, well, I guess that doesn't matter, never mind, because of chapter 1. But, like, I am very low here, I am noticing. Like, I'm on my alt account, which is at the original build, I'm at Y123 as I'm standing, like, maybe about, like, here. I'm a little bit off the ground, I might be a block up. And you see here I'm at 95 when I do that, so, you know, I'm definitely a little bit low. I actually, had I had another opportunity, I probably would have even gone higher, because then I could maybe fit play care. But, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Whoa. It's unfortunate. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much, because it's not like I have to go around anything particularly. This doesn't have to connect into Chapter 2 or whatever, because this is just some random off version of the map. I mean, the Chapter 2 is there in MHH, the download for it, but this won't be because, well, this is a copy either way, but yeah, obviously it wasn't. I know it wasn't there when I made the thing. Another way you can do this one, because I don't feel like filling this up 3 times, is I'll get rid of the blue, because we actually don't need it again. Oh yeah, I got rid of the structure block. I knew that'd come back to haunt me. But you can essentially place it on a corner, and you just copy this, and then do a /fill command to chase it. Change the block. Chase it? What are we chasing? 35 should be perfectly to the top, because it's 34 in total. And then again, if I go on this next one and go blank, I can just go to the corner, and if I go corner to corner, I can do, hold on. I can do slash fill, tilde, 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 whatever. Cyan concrete, replace, that's not how you spell replace. Replace red terracotta, and you see it'll make it blue. Just to kill a little bit of time. I know I talked about that on the original Playco. You know what? Honestly, that works. If anybody, or if any of you here built it, I'm sure some of you did. But yeah, and then again, I'm just gonna do the same command, but I'll replace the cyan concrete with smooth underscore sandstone, and it'll leave that last one alone as well, even though it'll be in the file of the slash fill, because obviously that's not red terracotta. That'll just make it easier. We really can't do that much, so use it while you can, because on the left side, I don't think any of them are the same. Well, okay, there's two that are the same. There's two sets of two that are the same, but one of the sets are literally so short, there's no point to even doing anything different. So, you want to head to the left side, and you want to take this first, like this back right-hand brown concrete pillar. And if you're at the bottom of it, you want to count up by 1. And from the back side of this, you're going to count over by 4. Going back from this block, you'll place 25 cyan terracotta. Just like so. And I sincerely hope that is correct. Hold on, I'm actually going to measure it again as you get there. Yeah, okay. You'll then go back from that with like 10 stone. Really doesn't matter that much. You can extend this stone to the right, so towards the, I guess, the candy cane smokestack over there, with 12 rows. There is a significance to that number, for once. Normally I'm just like, whatever with this part, but there is a significance to 12 there. You could technically go less, but, I mean, you're going to start getting close to not being able to support the smokestack that we need over here, so... You then want to take the back stone there, and again, we're going to do a massive fill here. You want to connect this back row of stone all the way left and forward to the, like... You're going to be on the back left brown concrete pillar, essentially, but you want to slide just into the final row of it. And so that'll be, like, here, I think? Or there. I might be a block too low. Am I a block too low? No, I'm good. And yeah, you'll see you'll connect into that final one there. And this entire area you're filling in with stone. So this kind of does, I guess, remove a couple layers from the pillar, but it's fine. Or the pillars, but it's fine. It is kind of intended. So the way I would do this, if you are interested in the old slash fill method, back left-hand corner, you're placing a block just below everything, and you're standing on it. Copying that coordinate with either just writing it down or using Control-Alt-C or whatever if you can. And it was a slash fill video about that, teehee. And then you can head to the other side, and I'm just going to go, like, kind of up against the front here in this corner, and I'm going to do slash fill whatever stone. And I'll do keep just because I'm scared. And then I'll manually fill these 3 rows, whatever. And yeah. Again, I do want to get more done in these parts, so yeah, if you need to take a pause break, you can. That's where you should have them. And now we can just build all the smokestacks like directly from that, which will be nice. We'll start with the most challenging one, not really. Head back to the far left of this row of cyan terracotta you play, I guess far right. And behind this, you want to count to the 5th stone back. And you want to place, going back from that, 3 white terracotta. You should have a gap of 4 between the cyan terracotta and where you are. Or the white, I guess. Go back diagonally left. Left 2. Forward diagonally left. Forward 2. Forward diagonally right and right 2. Going right, you'll leave a gap of 6. And you'll copy this thing again off the 7th block. And you should end with 1 row of stone to the right there. And again, you're just making the same shape. You'll extend each white terracotta up by 18. So you'll almost be as tall as the brown concrete pillars are. Actually, you might be taller than the brown itself. Are you? Oh yeah, no, you are by a block. But you're shorter than the little skylights on them. The sky domes. I wonder what those actually are, like where that would sit, by the way. Because those are up there a little bit. Like, what are those rooms? Fairly large, so they could definitely be a lot of things. I mean, they're not huge, but like, for a pillar, they're pretty thick. I'd say based on my interpretation, but like, I'd like to consider and think the fact that my proportions are fairly on point, so... You know, I don't want to say that's exactly how they are, like, foot for foot, but I mean... I guess I am a little bit larger, though, in general, with my scaling, because of the 2x3 doors. Still no regrets about that. It's made the map a lot, again, bigger, but... I think it looks better. And just works better. Because I can add more detail and stuff. And you know how I've been with that on this map particularly, oh man. Anyway, you should have this. Now, for the next pillar. If you take the first, like, segment of the back here, it'll be the... You want to take the middle yellow terracotta on this first little castle segment. And if you're on the stone directly behind it... You want to count back by 6. And you're going to count left by 1 and then go right with 3 white terracotta. Then go back diagonally right 2. Back 2. Back diagonally left 2. Left 2. Forward diagonally left 2. Forward 2, and then forward diagonally right 1. Extend each of these blocks up with 37 white terracotta. And you'll be significantly taller than these pillars here, and, you know, like... well, maybe 2/3 of the way up that? Something like that. And, yeah. After this, there's... I think there's the set of 3, and then there's... I think... So there's 4 left, I think. If I'm correct with my mathematics, but... I could be wrong. And, yeah. But there's, again, there's only one other set that's, like, 2 of the same, because the set of 3 of them, one of them is shorter, like, significantly shorter for some reason. I don't really know why. But it is what it is. It is definitely, like... Especially as I'm doing this again, like, I'm... remembering the old one a little bit, especially for these, because I remember making, I think it was this one specifically, it was one of the smokestacks on this side. I remember doing, like, the same thing for going off the back of the castle spires, like, 2 or 3 blocks. Anyway. Scaling of this is absolutely diabolical, I'll be honest. Like, the smallest smokestacks here are the size of the biggest ones in the previous one, except for that one. That one's kind of excluded. Anyway, you should have that. Now, I will give you a second, so I can also get a drink of water. That sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? Anyway. Head to the left side of that white terracotta pillar, and you want to take the front row. Of this row of 3 specifically. You want to count left by 5 or leave a gap of 4 and place a light blue concrete. Extend back 1. Back diagonally left. Back. Left. Back diagonally left. Left. Forward diagonally left. Left. Forward. Forward diagonally left. Forward. Forward diagonally right. Forward. Right. Forward diagonally right, right, back diagonally right, right, back. And it'll give you this. A little bit of a weird circle, but it was the best I could come up with a 2-block center like this. You want to extend each light blue concrete up by 53. And I believe that'll make you taller than the blue, won't it? Yeah, you'll be taller than the blue concrete. Which is exciting. And then you, again, want to bring this whole thing up to that height. And I'm going to confirm that it's actually taller than the blue, because for some reason that just, like, rings... Okay, you know, yeah, it's significantly taller than the blue. Never mind. We're good. This is one of the ones I didn't count, like, perfectly. Okay, what I mean by that is basically I used the number from the white terracotta one to basically count the first part of this. Rather than just counting from the bottom up, I basically took the first, whatever, 30... however many that... however tall that pillar was before us. And just, you know, counted onto it from that point. In case you wanted to know my tactics. Okay, that's a little bit cringe. Thanks, video game. So, for the texturing of these, again, that'll be something I go over later. They're one of the things with multiple layers of texturing going on, though, at the same time. There's that, and actually the sky domes on the castle, like brown pillars, are also double textured. You might not notice it, but there is actually another layer going on, which is fun. But yeah, these are, like, very obviously double textured. Unless you're the candy cane spiraled one, because I think that's triple textured, like triple. It has 3 layers because it has the grime at the top. It has the oak texturing the yellow and the magenta texturing the pink, which is 1 layer, and then it has the yellow going over the pink as well, which is like, I guess, chipped paint. I don't know. Maybe somebody messed up when they were painting it. Who knows? But there's, like, some spots going on that I decided to add. Anyway, only 3 more to go. Whenever I finish this row. There we go. You should have this. Now, for the next one, it's a little bit further away, so we're not going to count from the light blue pillar. We're instead going to take, again, if you just kind of, like, take the, I guess it'll be the middle of the 3 yellow walls here on the back. You're going to take the center yellow terracotta again, and you want to count back from it by 12. So this will be the first stone, second, third, etc. And from this 12th stone, you'll go left with 3 smooth sandstone. So I guess you're counting back by 11. But it's a gap of 11 between the two. But anyway, yeah, from there, the left smooth sandstone, you'll go back diagonally left, back 2, back diagonally right, right 2, forward diagonally right, and forward 2. So you have a 5 by 5 square without the corners. Extend each smooth sandstone up by 28. I sincerely hope I counted that right. Okay, yeah, I did. I like had an issue where it didn't place the block, and I was like, maybe I messed up, but I didn't. We're good. Sorry, I got scared. Average Wednesday afternoon, I guess. Actually, it is Wednesday, and it is the afternoon. I can't believe it. This won't be releasing on a Wednesday probably, but it's currently 3 p.m. on the dot on a Wednesday, which is just fantastic. I don't think I've ever said that, like saying a random time and day and getting it right. That's shocking. Anyway, you should have that. That looks weird from this angle, but whatever. Okay, so from that, you want to leave a gap of 9 going left and copy the base shape with cyan concrete. So again, it'll be the 10th block over, and you'll just kind of make the 5 by 5 without the corners. And then again, going left, you'll leave a gap of 9 from that one and do the same floor pattern with magenta concrete, or the same, I guess, circle. Extend the magenta and the cyan up by 43. And you see, again, it'll be a fair bit taller than the smooth sandstone there. But yeah, you're just doing this with both. And I guess I'll manually fill both these rather than cheating. And then after this, I honestly don't have a plan after this. I had nothing going, so... I guess we'll do the left side. The, like, start bringing back on the left. Do we... Actually, we could do the dome. I feel like getting the dome out of the way would make sense. Yeah, because that won't take too long overall, and it's just something that needs to be done, so... We can do that. Side note, maybe? There was a side note, I think. Yeah, this is really the point to where if you don't care about the custom stuff and you just want what the factory looks like, you don't really need anything else. You do obviously have to finish filling in the back and stuff, but honestly at that point I would just finish the tutorial, but... You know, if you just don't like the way that a section looks or whatever, then you don't need to add it at this point. Because everything beyond this is not real. Technically none of this is real, but... That's a philosophy for a different day. Honestly, though, like, I kind of wish the factory, not like the whole lore of the factory, but just like the exterior of the factory existed in real life. I would love to see that. Like, please somebody make a real life 2-scale version of it. Okay, that would take a lot of money. Mob, you should make one. There we go. Let's get Mob on it. Or get them to get somebody to get on it. Cause like, it'd be so cool. I don't know how structurally sound it would be necessarily, but you know. One of the like few game like builds that I think is applicable in real life to some extent and also looks really cool. Like I kind of obviously Act 3 would be cool in real life, you know, Ellen Aber Act 3, but that's just not applicable. Like at all. Anyway, yeah, there's all your smokestacks other than the ones that we don't like. I don't know why I'm picking on those. Anyway, though, it should look like this from the front. We do have some floating stuff going on the left there, but we'll finish or fix that up in a little bit here. But yeah, that's pretty good. So, what I want to do now is you want to head to the dome, the dome that's kind of hidden back here, this guy. And what you want to do from it is you can clear your inventory, and you can get out yellow terracotta, cyan concrete, hold on, just make sure there's, okay, mangrove planks, mangrove slabs, stone, warp slabs, warped planks, whoa, cyan terracotta, and I guess black concrete. So if you are at the dome like I am right now, you want to... Where do we want to start here? I guess we probably should have brought the smooth quartz down, but here's what we can do instead. From the, like, dome, you want to take the back of it, and from here you want to place, going back, 3 rows of stone, which is just going to go to the end of the white concrete, pretty much. And I'm just going to go off of the, like, dome, and I'm going to go, let's go, like, a few blocks left and right, and I'll just make a line for now, rather than actually filling it all in, because it's going to be weird to fill in without actually knowing where walls are. Off of the left of the dome, which is this side, and if you have these tiles, you are able to destroy them, you want to place 8 stone going out. And so again, any deep state tiles in your way you can remove. They should just be, or I guess any blocks in general, they should just be to block off the stairs. And again, I'll just connect this corner here. Off the front, it'll only be 1 row. And then it'll connect here. And off the right, you should already have an actual number. I think it stays. Does it stay consistent? It should stay consistent. We made the wall consistent, so... yeah, it will be. So basically, you should already have the wall here, so you're just gonna bring the stone along and connect it and whatever. And then fill in the center area with stone. Some of this... for the... when we do the interior is gonna be, like, screwed with. basically, when we do the new interior, I guess there's gonna be some black concrete that'll stick up into this. I just have them open because they're in spots to where it doesn't matter. I thought I put carpet on them, but I guess I removed it. So if you want to put lycra carpet over them, you absolutely can. I just didn't because they blended enough with the base of the dome in the way that it works, so I didn't worry about it. But it's up to you. And yeah, now we don't really need to bring down the smooth quartz wall, and we should know where it's positioned, which is always good. And then yeah, I think the plan for the rest of this will just be finish this area, and then next part we'll start working back on the left, and then probably back on the right, and then we'll just meet in the middle rather than going across. I don't know. Although thankfully the big elements are kind of done. I didn't add a ton of segments on the back and sides that were crazy. So I think the biggest one is the back right has a pretty wild section, but most of them will be kind of quick rather than the barns and stuff and the castles here. Funny castles are front, left, and back right. Anyway, on the right side here, you can, off the stone left a row, you're going to place a row of yellow terracotta just kind of up diagonally from it like so. You can, hold on, I gotta be on that side first. You can bring the yellow terracotta up by 8 rows. Yeah, just make a giant wall. I'm gonna say. And yeah, there's again, a couple layers going on this side specifically. There's this layer of the wall, and then there's the upper layer, which do actually work differently. Like so. On top of that wall, you'll place a row of warped planks, and then extend it up with a row of warped slabs. Oh. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so you won't actually need this front row here of the yellow, nor I guess the stone. But because that'll be in line with the smooth quartz, you'll find out, but that's fine. Yeah, you'll place a warp slabs off the side of that warp plank row, along with on top of it. And then from the top row of slabs, you'll go out with a row of warped planks. And then at the end here, basically what you can do is this row of cyan terracotta here on the left. You want to take the row of stone to the right of it and bring it down with a row of yellow terracotta. And then each of those warped planks can be brought over until they diagonally connect with that yellow terracotta. Or the brown concrete, alternatively. Just like so. And you can kind of see the walls are starting to form around it, and we can kind of get a better understanding of what's going on. Just like so. You'll fill in this gap in front of all this with warp planks as well, just bringing these warp planks forward, and they should end up connecting into the other roof, which will just fill in any remaining gaps, basically. And yeah, that'll be pretty good. Whoopsies. Whoopsies part 2. Nice. From the back here, you want to go back diagonally right from the wall with a yellow terracotta, the yellow wall, I should say. You'll extend this right with 5 yellow, cyan, 4 yellow, cyan concrete, I should say, not terracotta, cyan concrete again, 2 yellow terracotta, cyan concrete, 4 yellow, cyan, 2 yellow, cyan, 4 yellow, cyan, 2 yellow, cyan, 4 yellow, cyan, and then you should end with 7 yellow. And it'll diagonally connect to the other side there. Nice. Extend each cyan concrete up by 5. Boink. Oh, good lord. There we go. She should have rows of 6 in total. over where the 4 yellow terracottas are, you want to bring either side of cyan up diagonally and by 2, and they should connect together. Don't go over the gaps of 2, because, well, that's just going to cause a problem. And it's not really going to give you the arches we're looking for. You'll actually fill in those arches a block behind them in with black concrete, or in line if you're feeling that. It just kind of depends on what you've done for the rest, I would say. I'm doing generally whatever makes it easier for the tutorial, but in this situation it technically doesn't matter, so I don't think it'll matter much for the rest. Although I think it might matter for one thing on the, like, kind of back right. I don't know if it quite is the back right. It might be what's under the castle segment, so yeah, I guess it would be back right. The other castle segment. You'll then extend each yellow terracotta up by 4. Except for the ones that are, like, in the middle of the cyan concrete. Because you'll have the black concrete there, and it kind of was placed there for a reason, and we do want to leave it there. So, yeah. The roof for this section is weird, but I'll do my best to explain it. And this is one of the custom ones that I actually really enjoyed making. So off of each of the top cyan concretes, I'm just going to take one window. I'm going to place an upside down mangrove slab off of each. Off of the left and rightmost 2 upside down slabs, I'll place mangrove planks, and then off the middle 2, I'll place mangrove slabs on top. And I'll do this on each of the windows just now, because it'll help us to be able to connect them to one another rather than to nothing. That makes sense. And again, planks on the side 2 and slabs on the center 2. Oopsies, I almost just inverted it. Like so. You'll then end up connecting the upside down slabs, or you'll bring the upside down slabs, I guess, on the bottom here out in either direction with 2 mangrove planks. It'll either connect to another window or it'll just go off into oblivion. For the ones that go off into oblivion, you want to go out with an upside down mangrove slab, up with a plank, out with an upside down slab, up with a plank, and then you're going to connect to the sidewall with upside down mangrove slabs. It should be 2 or 3, and then you'll bring each of those upside down slabs also up with a slab. At those sides there, you can bring up the yellow terracotta as far as you need. And again, this is where it just gets a little bit weird, so you're going to have to maybe trust the process, or don't, I guess. It is always an option. So we're now focused on the underside of them, we're focused on the top of them. And so where each slab is of mangrove, you want to go back with a plank from the slab, and then up with a slab. And you want to keep doing that. Plank, slab, until you essentially reach where the stone is, where you'll essentially place you'll place a plank just off of the stone, or where the stone would be, and you'll stop there. With the planks themselves, you're just going to go up diagonally back with mangrove planks until you also line up with the stone. And it'll almost give you a wavy pattern on the stone itself. I mean, we don't have the stone there for a lot of this. So, like, you'll see here, essentially, you're just going to kind of go diagonally back and until you're at the correct height, and it'll create a wave pattern at the top, so you can kind of just follow it. But yeah, you won't necessarily be connecting to stone. I did say connect to stone, but we don't have the stone going across because I didn't want to try to explain. Here's how it's supposed to go with the waves and stuff. So yeah, the planks are definitely easier, but again, it is just basically a 1 block incline each time you go back a block. Except for at the very top, sometimes it's half. But yeah, you want to do this on this entire roof. And really, I wouldn't go any further yet. I would just kind of go to the ends and then wait for whatever instruction you might need. Yep, okay. This is going good. This is a bit of an annoying one, but I think it looks really cool. It's definitely unique. Which, I guess that is, you know, it will become debatable as to what you think about it, just, you know. It's one of the first custom sections I did, I think, because I was trying to get the dome to work, and I wanted a window section near it, so, you know, you could, like, look out onto the dome from up here, but Unfortunately, for those of you who were watching the Let's Build where I was doing the interior for this, I don't actually think I'll be able to use these windows because they're at such a spot to where, essentially, you see the dome here. I have the theater, and then I'll have, like, the innovation hallway, so there's just not really a good spot for them to slide in right now. Maybe later I'll find something, depending on if I rearrange the theater, but as of right now, there's nothing going for me, so... Also, make sure you're keeping the Y coordinate the same and not worrying about any of the others. I've almost made that mistake like 4 times. So, yeah, try not to be like me. At least in this situation, I guess. Other situations, do whatever you want, but this one, don't, Yeah, like right there. I always keep doing it there. But I got it this time. Not a doubt in my mind that I have this, other than the fact that I'm misplacing every other block. That is a little bit annoying, I think. But anyway. Good lord. Make it stop. Almost there, though. I got one more little spiral. This is hurting my hand. It's fine, I don't need my hands. That's definitely a lie. I'm pretty sure most people need those. Not me, though. Prosthetics. I wonder, like, how good prosthetics would be for, like, gaming. Just, not, like, as an interested in getting one for myself, but, like, could it get, like, the same movement you can get with your, like, hands? With either a controller or, you know, not a controller. Anyway, you should have this. As in a keyboard. That's what I meant by not controller. So, the roof on the left, you want to kind of just keep bringing it back. And, okay, I either pick the warped or the mangrove to overtake. I decided that it would be funnier to just do whatever I wanted. But yeah, at the left here, this roof is just going left continually until it runs into something. But the warped you'll bring back to make sure that it also is in the way. So, yeah, but you see, like, essentially what I mean by I didn't really make up my mind is I have mangrove here on the corner, and then for this next one, I'll have warped on the corner. Don't really know what that's about, but that's what I did, so... you know, we move on. It should look like that, though. And if you have that little light thing, you're seeing in the corner right there, I have the light going on. You just, like, coat the underside of those slabs. I don't actually know why that's happening. Because in theory, it shouldn't. But, I don't know. It's happening, so... As for the right side, you're just bringing the cyan terracotta or yellow terracotta back and essentially through it. Like, I'm going to break the mangrove slab along with this mangrove plank because it's in my way. And then the yellow will just... Can I block pick work? Thank you. Yellow will just get brought back to however far you need. Nice. You can get rid of whatever, or I guess, yeah, just clear your inventory, actually. And we'll probably end here with getting out red terracotta, block of coal, and smooth quartz blocks. So you want to start by bringing the smooth quartz wall down until you fill in the kind of front of this area, and it should connect into the stone. And this will be the part that you, again, would like to have the dome in for. If the dome isn't here, it doesn't matter, I guess. I mean, I guess this whole area would have been deemed useless now that I'm thinking about it. But... yeah, because you kind of needed the dome to mark the walls. That was poorly planned, but whatever, honestly, it's fine. I guess I just flattened the roof off. Maybe I'll make a pinned comment about that or something if I remember at that point. If I don't, any of the members or anybody who's watching this, give me a reminder, please. Thanks. Hopefully I'll remember, but I'm not, because normally I would upload directly after, but I think because I want a Twitch stream, I'm not going to. Anyway, you do want to coat the outside of the dome in red terracotta. The black glass you're leaving alone, but including in the floor, the blocks around the glass, you want to make block of coal. So I'm just going to break under here, and again, I'll just kind of coat the red and yellow going around, and I'll just do it, like, there's really no better way to do it. Just don't think place, right? And I want to start with all the block of coal, because I think that'll be better, but they'll diagonally touch at some points. You don't want to add more block of coal than you need, you just want the blocks that are necessary. And again, you're not coating more than one block out, because that's also kind of lame. But yeah, and this will work regardless of the dome shape. Like, if you didn't use my dome shape in some world, or if you, like, just are using a different chapter around this, because I know I had somebody, I think, mentioning that. It'll work fine the same, just, you know, I guess the entire other, like, area here wouldn't have, but, you know, that's kind of besides the point. I mean, that is the point. If you are trying to make this around a different exterior, honestly, respect. Like, that takes a whole lot of extra work because of, like, how many little things end up needing to be, or probably end up lining up differently just because, you know, my scaling obviously would probably be different than whomever you would be using. I'd love to try that, actually. Just, like, follow this tutorial, or just... I mean, I guess because I've, you know, made it, I guess I would just redo the same thing, no? And then anyway, like, any areas you have left, if you see any... I guess the red terracotta at the bottom also counts, although this ends up being red concrete on the new one, so... shame. But... yeah, just cover up anything. You don't want any other colors visible, because, it all needs to be red and black. And this just makes it look the same as the dome on the front, which makes it a little bit more, I guess, consistent, in a way. An odd kind of consistent, but a kind of consistent nonetheless. And yeah, where the red terracotta is, I would actually start by just, like, I guess, covering that red terracotta with another row, and then just kind of working up from there. Because I think that'll be easier to identify the way that would work. And I'll just do all the corners first, because they're annoying. And yeah, that'll get us to 50 minutes, which is cool. Pretty much. I mean, give or take, but... who's giving and who's taking? And then, yeah, I'll just fill down the middle. And again, you want to make sure the windows stay open, because that's, like, the whole entire point of the dome, is to have windows. And, like, even the sides here, this will be annoying to see, but there's not really much we can do, because my dome shape is a little jank, but... I guess it's not horrible. It only is horrible when you realize how it works, like, on the outside of it. The inside looks fine. But, yeah, win some, you lose some. And, yeah, I think that should be everything, but I do want to just confirm and make sure that I didn't leave anything. Yeah, that's the dome. And that's kind of what it should look like. It does look a little bit strange, again, because of the extra row, but... not a whole ton that can be done. I actually think the texturing makes it look better, no? It's kind of hard to tell. It definitely takes your attention away from the fact that the shape is a little bit, like, off in certain points. But if you want to try and, like, extra layer or double layer some parts of it to make it better, you absolutely can. I'm just not really concerned about it. But yeah, that area is done. That's kind of the one weird one, I think. As for Make a Friend, by the way, I think I mentioned this. The right windows you should black off. That'll be something I'll talk about on the interior. I think I did mention that in a part. But, yeah, so really, like, that's pretty much what covers the chapter. Again, there's a lot more to do, as you can see if I look down here. There's a lot more to do. We still have to cover Make a Friend, which will be next part. We'll start working back on that side, and maybe get the entire left done. I think that's reasonable. Entire left in a part, entire right in a part, and then split the back into, like, 2 or 3. And then texturing will be probably its own part. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, once you're done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 6 of Playtime Co. New exterior complete. Even without the texturing, I mean, this thing looks sick, in my opinion. I still think that the obviously texturing makes it leagues better, but I still think it's better than the old one by far, even with it looking kind of plasticky. At least to me, it looks plasticky, because I'm so used to seeing the one with a frick load of texturing. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.